Again, the next question, if you go through, I think it is about the perennial, but there is no reference in the code specifically with respect to whether the perennial, whatever, how to treat this perennial or non-perennial nature of work. No specific reference is given in the code, but I would say I think we can form a 2x2 matrix. See, a job can be core and perennial. If it is core and perennial, it is advisable not to engage contract workers for carrying out those jobs. I repeat, if it is core and perennial, it is advisable not to engage contractors and contract workers. On the other hand, if it is non-core and non-perennial, definitely we are at liberty to, as employers, to engage, to entrust that job to a contractor and engage contract workers. I think there will be no questions. In between, there is again two categories: non-core perennial, core and non-perennial, right? So if it is non-core and perennial, then again, since the term core activity is now defined, I think we can now engage contract labor for non-core and perennial nature of jobs. But in case of core and perennial, non-perennial, I think we may have to decide on case-to-case basis only. We cannot give a clear advice on that specifically. We may have to check the kind of activity which is planned to be given on contract, and the number of persons to be engaged, and the number of days that particular job would last. All those things we may have to check. So case to case basis, we may have to decide on that. So when it is core and perennial, it is advisable not to engage contract workers. If it is non-core and non-perennial, yes, we can do that. If it is non-core and perennial, yes, we can engage because of the definition which is now given for core activity. But if it is core and non-perennial, I think case-to-case basis, we may have to decide. Now, can you please tell what are all the changes in compliances for a factory in Maharashtra? I think somebody raised this query, and but I think if it is very specific to Maharashtra, we may have to wait for the rules to be framed by the government of Maharashtra. But yes, in general, even for factories, there are a lot of changes. Even the definition is changed, right? So if a factory is doing the manufacturing, involved in manufacturing process, engaging 10 or more people, when the manufacturing process is carried out with the aid of power, then that particular premises would be treated as a factory currently, right? But if it is carried out manually or without the aid of power, then at least 20% should be there. So that 10 and 20 is now getting increased to 20 and 40. So if a factory is involved in manufacturing process, and if it is carried out with the aid of power, then there must be at least a minimum of 20%. Only then it will be treated as a factory. If it is carried out without the aid of power, then there must be a minimum of 40 people. 40%. Only then it will be considered as a factory. So this change is again under the factory part under Chapter 11 of the Occupational Safety Code. But this would be applicable for all factories across the country. Similarly, I think there are certain changes, like again leave eligibility for a worker. So instead of 240 days for a person to become eligible for leave, it is now getting reduced to 180 days. So if a person has worked just for 180 days in a continuous period of 12 months, then that person will be entitled for leave to be availed in the next year, maybe at the rate of 1 day leave for every 20 days of work performed in the current year. So that is how it is. So these are all again changes. The threshold limit for appointment of safety officer, for appointment of welfare officer, for providing canteen, it is all getting changed. So a lot of changes are there under in the current provisions of the Factories Act. But with respect to Maharashtra, I think we may have to wait for the Maharashtra rules. Is there any difference in the provisions between the existing Contract Labor Act and in the new Code on Occupational Safety if any company has engaged around 60 contract workers through a contractor, and the contractor has not obtained license for engaging such contract labor? No, I think there is no difference with specific reference to this point. If the contractor has not obtained the license, then I think it is a violation of that particular section. If I am right, it is currently section 12 of the Contract Labor Regulation Abolition Act. And under the code also, it will be treated as violation of that particular provision, right? So whatever punishment prescribed for that contravention of that section, that would be imposed. Otherwise, I think the position would be same with specific reference to this query, right? Otherwise, there are certain changes as we discussed in the applicability itself. The current Contract Labor Regulation Abolition Act, it would be applicable if there are 20 or more contract workers in an establishment, right? Similarly, if a particular contractor engages 20 or more workers, right? But now that number 20 is getting increased to 50. The threshold limit is going up to 50 now. So there are changes, but for this particular query, it will be treated as a violation of that particular section, and whatever punishment prescribed for that, that would be imposed.